Going to call this meeting back to order. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Dawn Williams, would you lead us in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for being here on this. This is a palindrome meeting for 24-24. First up tonight is approval of the agenda. I have no additions.
Move to approve.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Recognition. Kim Conselman.
Tonight, I'm proud to announce that we have 5 high school students who will be receiving their associate degrees this year. Unfortunately, 2 did not attend.
I don't think your microphone's on.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Do I have to repeat? And so 2 of our graduates couldn't attend this evening. 3 of the 5 will be receiving their Associate of Arts degrees in Interdisciplinary Studies. And those 3 students are Taylor Krinkla, who couldn't be here this evening, Jade Harrington, and Ava Williams. And the other 2 students, Andrea Garcia and then Brooklyn Schmitz, will receive an Associate of Science degree in Interdisciplinary Studies. I just want to mention how proud I am of these young ladies. They have worked very hard in the last 4 years to achieve this degree. It takes a minimum of 60 college credit hours to receive this, and so it takes a lot of hard work and effort on their part. In addition, I also want to recognize them. All 5 of them will be graduating with distinction this year, which means they have a 3.5 GPA or higher with their college GPA. So I'd like to give them a round of applause for that. In addition, I just want to mention, especially to new board members, we have been offering this interdisciplinary degree since 2013. And with adding these 5 seniors, we will have a total of 42 high school graduates from Newcastle High School for this. So that's quite an accomplishment in that many years. Before I turn the floor over to the girls to let them mention what their plans are after high school, I also just want to recognize the parents that are with us this evening for giving them the support over the course of these years and for helping them with this accomplishment.
Okay. All right. I'm going to UW and I'm gonna. It's really loud. Okay, I'm going to UW and I'm gonna study speech pathology and hearing sciences.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to BH. I'm gonna study either chemistry or biology.
Yay.
I'm going to Northwestern in Orange City, Iowa, where I will be playing basketball for them and studying biology and genetics.
And last but not least, I handed out an invitation for all of you board members to attend our ceremony on Monday, May 6th at 6:30 at the high school auditorium. So we would love for all of you to attend if you have that evening open.
I am so proud of you guys. This is an amazing accomplishment. I know it was a ton of work. And you should be really proud of yourself for the investment you have made in your future. So bravo. We are meeting with the superintendent of public instruction at 6 o'clock that night. So I would invite you to please come through and shake our hands now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the high school in May too.
Yeah.
We'll see you for that other graduation.
So cool.
Thank you so much. I will add this, when I was on the State Board of Education and while I was, well, since I've been on this board, I have touted this program many times and seriously, it's been close to 10% of our graduating class every year that's gotten their associate's degree before they get their high school diploma. And educators from all over are just astounded that we have kids doing that and that we're able to offer that. So pretty proud of us too. Thank you. Other recognitions? Tyler?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I know I've already sent these things your guys' way, but just, public record wise, to recognize Dr. Colgrove and his Science Olympiad students that competed at the state event a couple weeks ago. We finished 4th out of 12 teams. I'll get CeeLo the whole list of names, but as far as first place finishers, Theron Seidner, Sophie Chalker, and Kayla Olson actually came in first place. They're all 3 6th graders too, so it's pretty impressive at the middle school event there, but they did a great job. And I sent you information from last night, Miss Gibson, our new title math teacher, and the family math night, and we had some in attendance, but I just, she dreamt big, I will tell you that. When she wanted to do this, she wanted to get as many people as possible and as much involvement as possible, and I think she's just gonna try to continue to grow it, so I thought she did a great job. And then lastly, Administrative Professionals Day. So just all the secretaries across the district and all the things that they do. This place doesn't operate without them. And I would just share from our building, Brandy stepping in the middle of the year, and a story for you guys to know is we have a student that has returned to our district who she worked with previously at the elementary school, and we're leveraging her skill set and her relationship with that kid right now. So when we say that secretaries do a little bit of everything, they really, really do. So just a huge shout out to the secretaries across the district.
Thank you. How did Joe do okay at Mouth Night?
Yeah, I won a game of skunk.
Oh, good job. Good job. Angie, do you have anything for us? Taryn? Sonia? Karen? Alicia? Bo? Wow. Okay. No recognition, no more recognitions. We'll move on to visitors' comments. And we have Mr. Wyatt Volker here to talk to us. Welcome.
It's still on. Yep, it is. All right, good evening, board. This is just a message from Brad Trofkum since he couldn't make it tonight due to work matters. He would like to thank all your board members for your considerations on this matter, and he would like to say that if you would like to contact him personally, that you can get his information from CeeLo and that he is still 100% engaged that if this passed. And again, he would like to thank you for your time. So, thank you.
Any other visitors? Action items for consent agenda. Move to approve. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Microphone's on now. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Old business, proposal on high school golf on third reading.
I don't believe at this time, Madam Chair, there's any new information. There was some budgetary figures sent out to the board this morning from the activities director. I believe if you need Brad Trough-Gruben's items, they're in your packet. And what else do you need from me, Madam Chair?
Let's see. Let me get this moving. First of all, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the proposal to add golf as a high school sport for 24-25 on our third reading. Discussion. Tina.
The only thing I would say, I agree that golf is a lifetime sport, and I actually like golf myself. My concern with it is not even necessarily the money, although that is a concern, but my other concern is that it's twice a year, so it's going to impact several sports. When you think about they're gonna play golf, and they can't play the other sport until they're done with golf. So in the fall, you're looking at, I mean, if depending on what these people play, you're talking about football, swimming, volleyball.
Cross country.
So you're talking about 4 different sports that it would impact. And then in the spring, you're talking about soccer and track. So, I mean, you're talking 6 different, what we already have, they're going to be impacted. I mean, they just are, because you're going to start, you're going to start golf. And then when that's done, then you're going to join you could join the team. So you've only got part of your season. And then in the spring, I don't know how that works. Because I don't know when that actually starts. So I don't know if that would impact that you couldn't play a spring sport, or if that would mean you'd golf and then, I don't know. I don't know how that would impact spring sports, but I do think it's going to impact our sports that we're already offering. And I think that's tough when sometimes we struggle to get the numbers. So.
Joe?
I do want to ask, because Wyatt played high school golf for Upton. How does that affect track season? We all get what it will do to football season, missing a couple weeks there, but what will that do to affect track season?
Golf it starts Yeah, and golf does run the same time as also track there, in the spring championship, at least in 2A under my deal of when I played, was last week in April. But already this year, due to weather, because golf is very heavily weather dependent, they've only played one tournament and 90% of their tournaments have been canceled. So golf is very weather dependent, unlike your other spring sports where they do get to play. So spring is real wishy-washy when it comes to golf, but fall is the most set in stone, and that's why state and all that is in the fall. So, but if it was a perfect spring season, it would start at the end of March and then it goes to the end of April. It's 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks in the spring, and then 3 to 4 weeks in the fall.
Oh, Dana, sorry.
I'm kind of struggling with this one because I do worry exactly what Tina says. But I also think about sports and how they impacted my children in school. And it's what kept some of them coming back. I mean, be honest, right? So I keep thinking if we can reach just 1 or 2 kids to play golf. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
Billy?
I'll kind of talk about it a little bit too. I understand the impact of other sports, but this might reach kids that don't play them sports right now. And right now, if I read it right, it's a trial basis for 4 years. So technically, it's not going to cost us any money for 4 years. I'd like to see it go for 4 years. And then after the 4 years, you guys, if it does pass, the understanding that we will look at it again and decide if we're going to keep it or not, to see if the numbers are sustained or if they're affecting the other sports and stuff. I mean, I'm just kind of, I'd like to look at it and see and give the other kids a chance. There might be kids that play golf that don't do anything else. So.
John.
Madam Chair, you know, I've always been one that advocated for activities for our young people, and I believe that activities help with their GPAs, help with their school, help with their ACTs, keeps them involved, and keeps them out of trouble. And I've always, I mean, I'm one that advocated for soccer at the high school, for soccer at the middle school, and I believed in that. And I believe that activities do help our young people grow and have a better life. I guess I'm concerned about the numbers. You know, we look at maybe having one person out for golf, and I realize that it's not going to cost us anything for 4 years, but one person, and at the end of 4 years, we're supposed to have 3. We've never held to those numbers. I mean, we've always said that 5 was supposed to be out for swimming, or 5 was out for wrestling or whatever. And we've always made exceptions to that. And I think we will continue to do that because we believe in that sign right up there, what's this do for kids? Or I do anyway. I think it's very important, but I'm a little skeptical of the numbers. I'm skeptical of the money. I'm not concerned about losing students from football or from track. I mean, I don't think that's probably going to happen. But I do have one question for Wyatt, or he went. Do you have an idea how many young people are interested in going out for golf this fall?
Yes, so in our interest meeting survey that Brad held at the beginning, we would have enough to fulfill a team right now. I think if it was correctly, we had 10 that were interested in playing that if it was offered in the fall. But as I like to say, talk is cheap. So now we have double. If we maintain half, we still would have enough to fulfill a team coming forward, according to our interest meeting survey that we had before we even presented this to the board, because we wanted to ensure that we did have a team if we were going to present it to you guys.
Thank you. I guess, Madam Chair, like I say, I'm skeptical of it. I think it's a good thing for young people to have that opportunity to grow, but I guess it'll be the board's decision 4 years from now if we do adopt it tonight, how much money they want to spend per child. So, and how many children we actually, or young adults that we actually have in our school system at that point in time to fulfill all these activities. So.
I guess my thing is competition's good. And if you're competing against yourself in the scorecard, in my opinion, that's the best competition there is. And the last thing I want to be known for is telling somebody I'm not even willing to give them a chance. So I think we should at least give them the opportunity to try. And at the end of 4 years, if they fall, that's on them. But at least they had their chance. So I would encourage everybody on this board to at least give those kids the chance to give it a try. Because I think it's something that I would have really enjoyed when I was in high school, even having the opportunity to do. So I think we should at least give them a go.
Anything, Sean? No. Well, before we vote, I want to thank you guys for the work you've done on this. it is a hard decision. I think I really appreciate the fact that it's pretty much a lifelong sport like swimming. It's not that, you don't see anybody on this board playing football on the weekends and stuff. And there are certain things that are made for young people to do, and then there are things you can learn as a kid and do your whole life. And I realize golf is one of them. The fact is also that we have fewer kids every single year. And that does concern me. And we have some pretty established programs. And the other thing is that there is no place for high school kids to play football if it's not at the high school. Whereas you can still go golf, even if it's not varsity or JV golfing. So it's a hard decision, and we know we have to be careful with our money too. And so I just want to say thanks for the effort you've put in, no matter what happens. So anybody else have any comments? Okay, it's time for a vote. We're voting on the proposal for high school golf on the third and final reading. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay? Nay. All right, let's have a show of hands. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that passes. Congratulations, golfers.
May I ask?
So Brad, thank you too.
May I ask a question? So
Sure.
Where does it go from here? Like, who do we contact to just next step? Okay. Oh, I didn't know. Thank you.
Alicia.
Correct.
It was high school.
They don't have middle school going.
Yeah. All right. That's the conclusion of our old business. We're on new business, future planning.
And it would have been interesting to see how many votes may have changed because of Gordon's actions, because of the response of their communities after those bills were passed, specifically the gun-free zone bill. I think that we would have very much seen a change in votes on that one. I think you would have seen more nay votes on that than you had before.
So you're saying that that some folks were counting on the governor veto in that one?
I very much 100% think that especially school districts, courthouses, places like that were banking that the governor was going to go, no way are we letting guns in these areas. And I think that their response afterwards may or may not have swayed some of those representatives and senators to vote a different way because the response was strong.
All right. That's the conclusion of our old business. We're on new business, future planning. Thank you. We always lose people after the fun stuff. All right, Mr. LaCroix, we're on new business A, future planning.
Okay, Madam Chair, I am going to proceed down the list. Feel free to stop me at any time, but I will take the following item by item, and if there is a need for more explanation, I will do so. So the first item that I have a recommendation to the board is the increase of a classified staff by $500.
Certified.
Okay, let me start all over.
Thank you.
You know, after you lose one activity event and then you lose two, you sort of get a complex. So bear with me for a while. I'm going to be okay. Okay, Madam Chair, I would recommend to the certified staff. God damn it. So mad I can't even see straight. Of $500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase the certified base by $500. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 2.
Madam Chair, I would recommend to the board an increase for the classified steps in the amount of 25 cents.
Move to approve.
It's been moved and seconded to increase the classified steps by 25 cents.
Madam Chair, just so you know, if the business manager scowls when we get to 13, 14, and 15, she will be omitted.
And we did change that number. I know. I should have warned you ahead of time.
I'm just. Madam Chair, I will need a 15-minute break after this.
Okay, just hang on one second. So, I got lost. Did we make a motion? Yes, we did. That was discussion about the amount. Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 3.
Madam Chair, I recommend that the district continue the coverage of the medical insurance, and the increase this year was 16%, and that amount is in your packet, but I would recommend that the district pay that amount to keep pace with our benefits.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the district to cover the 16% increase in medical insurance for employees. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried.
Madam Chair and Board, I have sort of a vision to the classified. So for the school secretaries, I would recommend to the board a dollar increase, and also the same dollar increase for the paras with a degree and a para without a degree.
It's been, I need a motion, please. Sorry.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase school secretary, para with degree, para with no degree, salary schedule by $1. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 5.
Madam Chair, I would make the recommendation to increase the nurse's salary as we go out and look for a new school nurse in the amount of $2,000.
To approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase the nurse's salary schedule by $2,000. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 6.
Madam Chair, I would recommend the approval of the lanes for the certified staff with the intent to advance.
It's been moved and seconded to approve lanes for certified staff and intent to advance when completed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Number 7.
Chair, it's my understanding that 7 will be a recommendation under new business under J. Is that correct? Am I?
I thought we would be voting on that here, and then if we need to keep J.
Okay.
On the.
So then my recommendation would be to go out and seek a full-time occupational therapist. Is that consistent with what you were thinking?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the district approve hiring a full-time OT. Wages paid with the current OT budget and using part of real allocated dollars within the sped budget. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I abstain from this vote.
Thank you, Sean. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Nay. Okay, let's have a show of hands. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. What? Didn't I count? I'm sorry.
That's not you have to have five.
Oh, yes, okay. So a tie fails. So we won't be doing that. Sorry. That's a no. So then, yeah. Yes. I counted John. So that means that we will remove J from new business. Okay, number 8.
So, Madam Chair, the next 3 are really just points of clarification because several of them really don't change budgets. But the one that I need to address right now is I would recommend the using of the SPED budget, which would pay for the 3rd middle school teacher, which I'll just leave it at that. Is that enough clarification?
Yep.
Yeah.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to use SPED budget to pay for a 3rd middle school SPED teacher. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Number 9.
I believe, Madam Chair, so this is a continuation of the efforts that we actually did this year. So really what it's doing is it's giving the director, the ability to have a transportation assistant, i.e. secretary. And the easiest way to explain this is if the secretary actually has a CDL, then they'll be paid at the change of the current rate, which is in place now. And if there were a secretary down the road that didn't have the CDL, then they would fall under the secretary category.
And I believe that's just a point of information that we.
That's a continuation of efforts.
We don't need to vote on that.
And then also I would do the same recommendation to the board with the math intervention coordinator up at the high school. That money of $26,000 is already allocated and been taken out of the general fund. So we would ask for continuation of those efforts. I also would recommend to the board to continue the efforts with the school resource officer. I might need a vote on that one, Madam Chair.
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to continue funding the student resource officer. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 12.
Okay, so Madam Chair, my recommendation with 12 is for the bookmobile, and for this current summer, it will continue under ESSER funds. If I and the team are not successful in looking at some business donors to continue those efforts, I would want everyone to know that next year we would be asking for the general fund to come up with the expenditure of roughly $8,000.
So that's a point of information for next year.
Correct.
Right. Okay, so now we'll go to 14.
14. Madam Chair, I would recommend to the board the increase of the base for administrators of $500.
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase the base for administrators by $500. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Number 17.
Madam Chair, I would also make that request for the directors to have that increase to their base of $500.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to increase the base for directors by $500. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. And that's everything on the page. Right, we don't have to. We just had information that our liability and property insurance would probably be increasing 21%, and there were some points of information, so. And I just want to say thank you, budget team. That's a big list of people. Quite a few of them are in this room. We appreciate the work you did on this, and I think we've done pretty well. So congratulations and thank you. Third quarter financial report.
Oh, yours.
Thanks. Yes, I'm having fun. Yeah. I do. So you have the third quarter financial that was in the board packet. We're looking pretty good on track as far as last year. There's been 2 bill runs since this has been put together. A couple things. Do you want me to go through page by page? I mean,
I don't think we need to.
I don't think so either. I have a couple points.
If you have some highlights on pages, and then we'll see if anyone has any questions.
Okay. So, on the third quarter expenditures by program, the board expense is kind of high this year with the beef processing and legal fees. So it's, you guys are almost out of money. What a pain.
We have to be paid.
But Brad's got you covered. So, so that was one thing I wanted to point out. And then on food service program, the food service program, we may have to, I'm watching it closely to see if we have to add any money from the general fund to cover. And I've been told that's pretty normal before COVID. And we've had that carryover that is like almost gone. So the expenditures with the cost of food and supplies and not having the revenue, I guess, from the co-ops, all the co-ops, it's a good thing, but a lot of them backed out, pulled their contracts. So we only have so many people to buy from and kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So that was that. And that's all I had on that.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the budget report for the third quarter? Brett.
Madam Chair, one of those things I was wrong on, and so I will own it, but truly thank those people that did help us through the donations of the beef processing and those things. I know it's a very difficult time to be asking for that, but it was a great deal of satisfaction knowing that the community, truly did stand behind students and staff. That really was a big plus, and I wasn't really sure how that would work. So it's worked well. So thank you to all of those that stepped forward.
Yeah. So great success. Any other questions for Angie? Have a motion
to approve the third quarter financial report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the third quarter financial report. Are there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Classified resignation.
Madam Chair, I would recommend to the board the classified resignation of Janet Olson as the custodian and permission to post.
And I would say we're missing a date on that. Do we? Was it was the end of the year? Okay, I just thought for the,
Oh, yep, thank
I
you.
forgot to look that up for the agenda. Okay, it's been, oh,
So move.
thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the classified resignation from Janet Olson as custodian in post position. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Director resignation.
Madam Chair, I would recommend to the board the resignation of Greg Gregory as the maintenance director, permission to post, and I believe May Day will be his last day.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the direct resignation from Greg Gregory as maintenance director into post position and to thank him for his years with the district. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Request for proposal for endpoint devices.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would recommend the going out for bid proposal for a new endpoint devices. Not a clue what that meant.
Do I have a motion?
Move to approve?
No, it's computers. It's right there in the packet. Go ahead, read.
It's been moved and seconded to approve going out for bid proposals for new endpoint devices. Bo, would you tell us what endpoint devices are, please? Computer. Thank you.
You could have just said computers.
Next time, we will put
Not all endpoint devices.
That is true. That is.
That's, there's,
devices.
yeah. I gotta stare for the check guy because he may save me someday. It's been, okay. Discussion. That's it. No more discussion about endpoint devices. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Request for proposals for new line refresh boards.
Not to be confused with blackboards, but these are boards. So my recommendation to the board without any further static would be to go out for proposal for the new line refresh boards.
Move to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve going out for bid proposals for new line refresh boards. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Classified resignation.
Madam Chair, I would recommend to the board the resignation of Amber Martinez as a special ed para and permission to post, and she will be leaving us at the end of the school year.
You have a motion?
Approve with regret.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the classified resignation from Amber Martinez as a special education para and to post the position. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Thank you, Amber, for your work in the district. Classified resignation.
I would also recommend to the board the resignation of Karen Bowles as an elementary para and permission to post at the end of the school year. She will be leaving us.
You have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the classified resignation from Karen Bowles as an elementary para and to post the position. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Bid proposal from weatherproofing technologies for the football field.
And just everybody knows, so this was the number one recommendation that came out of the Building and Grounds Committee. So I would recommend the weatherproofing technologies INC for the football field and practice field. That does include the ground excavation and the sod replacement so that the football field, the playing field actually would be crowned. And with that, Madam Chair, I would recommend the amount of $463,146,000.15.
Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bid proposal from ITE for WTI for irrigation upgrades and ground excavation and sod replacement of the football field. And I would like everyone to know that this is something that has to come from major maintenance money. It can only be used for these kinds of projects. We can't use it for teachers or raises or sports or any of those things. It has to go to buildings and grounds. So with that, is there any other discussion? Okay, John.
Well, this won't affect the track any, will it? And if it does, if they do hurt the track, are they covered for insurance to take care of it?
I will check into that. I don't know that. I believe their intent will be is to, on the north end, off that gate, they'll build a bridge or an apparatus to help protect the track during that time. But anytime you have that kind of work, construction guys are construction guys, so we do run that risk. But I would assume there's got to be some liability coverage on their part. I did not read through the contract. I think, my biggest fear is twofold. Number one, I think once you dig into that, literally dig into that, whenever you start taking up old systems, there's always that, what if, and then trying to keep everybody off of it so that condition has time, or that field has time to recondition itself for the first home football game in the fall. That's going to be huge. So my hope is once you approve this, we'll reach out to them. I believe the last true day of that venue will be the elementary end of the school year track meet. And then after that, I think we can close that and end the practice field down and get after it. Because if we don't, we're going to run into fall.
And I will say that there was nothing on this bid to indicate the bonding and stuff for damages and that sort of thing. But I believe every contract we have to enter into has to include that by statute. Well, but they have to be bonded. Yeah. Any other, Joe?
I just want to make sure I'm clear. This was voted on by which committee? The Buildings and Grounds, correct?
It was the number one. It was just a priority.
We had a list of priorities.
Okay.
And things that needed to get done, and this was one of them.
So
I don't remember the exact order, but
not being on that committee, just a couple questions here. The gentleman that come down from Buffalo, have we done any of his recommendations to the field?
I believe so.
I believe what we did is what we could do and to get ready for winter.
Okay.
Oh no, that's not true. They did fertilize, and they were out there working the other day because we had to repaint the soccer field. So they were doing something, but I don't know what that was.
Okay. And then second thing, the irrigation system, if we're laying sod, does the irrigation system have to be changed? I'm kind of curious on why the irrigation system's being changed.
Are you ready for this one? So my understanding is the pipe that was used was cheap. It's not, help me, Sean, PCV?
PVC.
So there's quite a bit of leakage and we are assuming that northeast corner that tends to be the problem area is either has truly drain issues or it does have some pipe leakage. And so to keep the old system in there and then put that field up would probably mean you're going to be doing some major adjustments anyway. And now with the cost of water being what it is, although remember the football field and the pool are exempt. But since you have a crew already here, it's probably the time to redo all those sprinkler heads and that line because it is a dated line. Not knowing exactly what the difference in the pipes really are.
Okay, and then my last one would be with losing the director of the maintenance department. Should we table this to see what a possible new one? I know we got 60 days from whenever the proposal was dated, but would it suit us to wait until we get a new maintenance director? I mean, that's a big chunk of change, and so I was just curious.
Carrie?
You'll need a microphone, please.
We all know how I love to talk on this thing, but at that meeting, we talked about a number of things. And one of them is the sprinkler system is actually it was put in before we had soccer. And so when you do the soccer field, the sprinkler system and all the heads are within the soccer field. So, I mean, as far as kids running around and there's sprinkler heads going on, out in the field. So we talked about that quite a bit with this.
Thank you. That I do like that.
And
when you're changing the elevation too, there's going to be some heads that are probably either way too low or too high.
That's just taking up your spot.
My only concern with tabling it with or without a new director is going to be the running into the fall. If we could try to avoid that, there's still a chance that it could happen. I'm not saying that. I think that the chance goes up if you delay it. I think the earlier, we only have one bid. And so I think the earlier that they can get a crew here and get going, the better off we're going to be.
And I would say too that we probably, it's not like they're going to start Monday. We have to finish up all the paperwork and then they have to schedule and probably get some supplies. And so I bet the earliest they'd be here is 6 weeks or so. And by that time, we may have a new maintenance director too. Yes, Billy, sorry.
Looking at the proposal or the, I guess, estimate bid or whatever you want to call it, it was effective on January 1st, 2024. It is only valid for 60 days.
There's another date.
Yeah.
It's like.
I'm getting
Down below.
I want it to
have you looked at it? I just looked at the first page.
Yeah, no, I think it was okay.
I just only seen April 1st. Isn't it?
April. Let's see, there's January. I keep going past it.
Okay, so just on the quote, they're going off the date 4/18 of 24.
Yeah.
Okay, because I just seen on it said effective January 1st.
I think they made that.
Okay.
Mistake. All right. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
In addition to the weekly printed version of the newsletter journal, we also promote our community and share important information on our award-winning website, newslj.com, and in our weekly email newsletter, Nuke Now. We also connect with readers through various social media platforms and invite you to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can even take a look at a recent meeting of the City Council, School Board, or County Commission on our YouTube channel. We do hope that you will go to newslj.com and subscribe today, and we look forward to making all of our great content available to you. But regardless of your level of support, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for doing your part to preserve a free and independent local press.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay, we do not need to do J now. We're removing it from the agenda. And we're up to directors' reports. Who'd like to go first? If not, I'm going to have to call on somebody. You're making me feel like a teacher. Okay.
A report, but I have a statement. First of all, I want to thank the board for doing what you can do at extremely difficult times. And I want to thank, all the staff. Really, money is not the value that you really have. It's the impact that you can do day to day in a child's life that really, I think, is the most important thing. I truly wish that we could do more. But I think for the situation that has been in front of us, it's really the best that we can do. And then again, not that Angie's new, because it's not that Angie's new. It's that whenever you're building a budget and it's an estimate, and that estimate has a variable of X degrees, you do have to make sure that you're wise with taxpayer dollars. And so whether this is ultra conservative or not, I think it's the best that we can do for those that work every day for kids. And we just really, our number one goal is that no one go backwards and children didn't lose programming. And then to try to take care of those that do what they do every day. I don't know if money's the value, but I thank them for what they do.
Thank you. Okay, Bo, do you have a report for us?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So really, what we got going forward is kind of the timeline. So on that first one that we bid on the Windows devices. That one will be due on the 6th. So I usually don't like to go that fast on it, but with the supply chain the way it is, they have about 1,000 machines and I'm buying 530 of them. So they couldn't promise me they'd be available if I bid it out as long as I wanted. So that one's going to come pretty fast. So I'll have that one ready for the next board meeting on the 6th. Okay. The boards I bid out longer, so no rush on those. They make lots of those. So the idea with that is I'm going to push that probably closer to summer because I will have a crew come in and they will install a lot of the vertical up and down mounts. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the plan there. Other than that, the only project that's still kind of out there that we need to wrap up soon is the reader on the elevator. Mm-hmm. And that's just coordinating the elevator guy and our installers to get together and finish it up. But as soon as that's done, all my equipment's here. Truly, I'm just waiting on them to decide on a date and then we'll get that done. So that's the timeline for what we got left. And then after that, it's going to be swapping every computer in the district. So my crew will be pretty busy then this summer.
All right. Any questions for Bo? Thank you. Tyler?
I know it's in the packet too. Just remember those RFPs that you approved, that's gonna be likely one of the last purchases out of the ESSER funds too. That's where that money's coming from. Just a reminder. Nothing to report, but I would invite you guys. I told you every year this is one of the best things we do, but the 6th grade reading class, their Greek plays are Tuesday, May 7th. You don't have a board meeting that night. Tuesday, May 7th at 6 p.m. They're practicing and it's great. And then of course the tradition of Colonial Night is Thursday, May 9th from 4 to 5:30. That one is when it'll be open to the public. So I'd invite you guys to those events coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are fun ones. Anything else, Angie?
Yes, I have something. I have reached out to a TJ from Pine Haven. He has a business with ATMs, and this came from Pinnacle Bank, gave me this information. It would be he would own the machine. No fee to us. We wouldn't have to do anything with it. He'd manage it. And all we need to provide is a plug-in. So he actually is going to be in the area tomorrow, and he's going to stop by and talk with me. So see where we might want to put an ATM. From what I understand, there's a lot of third parties that run concession stands at some of the schools. And I'm thinking that's how the credit card machines are done. They're expensive. We have to eat the fee unless we put it in our product, of course. But I think this is a really good option, and it'd be available, all day. Now I want to talk to him about for the outside venues, what could we do for ATM machines? I know they said that Leanna told me that she sends people down to Maverick because there's an ATM down there. Some choose to go, some don't. Mm-hmm. So I think this would help. It'd help with the kids with the coffee corral. They could go get cash, and if they were able to, I think it'd help us adults if we need a cash. So, and then if they would like 30 to 40 transactions a month, but he knows being a school district that some months it may happen, some months it may not. And then they would pay us 50 cents per transaction. And I said, well, there's concern with the credit card machine that the cost comes to us. How does that, work? And he said, there's so many rules. They've been in business for 25 years. They have not been in a school district yet, but they have businesses. They have them in all kinds of businesses all over Wyoming and South Dakota. And 2 weeks ago, he said Crook County School District reached out to him about putting an ATM in their schools. So I will talk to him tomorrow. And
so do they just need to plug into power? Yes. I don't know how an ATM, I assume it needs Wi-Fi.
Or not even Wi-Fi, excuse me, but satellite.
Yes.
Oh, satellite.
And
that makes sense.
At his cost.
That is okay. That's what.
Yeah.
We just didn't want that hooked into our system. So
is that 50 cents if we meet that 30 to 40 transactions, or is that even if we have 5 transactions, he's going to pay us 50 cents?
Yes, I believe it's even after that. It's just he would like that, and he'd like to monitor it for a month or two, and then he pays it out. So
maybe that could help fund the bookmobile.
There's
use your ATM and fund the bookmobile. Yes.
It just dawned on me, one of the main reasons that the coffee corral was really added to the school, so students could learn to count back change.
Yeah.
Because we used to get beat up, and we still do. The number of people that go out there that can't count change back. I believe curriculum-wise, it's a target in 4th grade, and then 3rd grade. Well, help me, don't be leaving me hanging here. But anyway, there's some goals here, some standards. But the idea is at the high school levels, there was a need for kids to have that skill set when they went out in our community and worked, because so many people apparently don't know how to count back change.
That's all I had.
That sounds like it could be a good thing. Thanks for looking into that for us. Taryn? Sonia?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Just a few updates. So I did get notified that ACT is changing, they're partnering with a couple different companies. So I don't know what that means, but I know that the intent is to enhance their products and services, whatever that looks like. So I don't know if the test is changing, but we were notified of that. So, and that is one of the contracts that as a state for accountability, all juniors are offered and required to take the ACT once, one for accountability, but two, they get one free shot at no cost to them. So more information down the line if there is changes or maybe there's not, but there is that. YTOP is in full swing. Anywhere that has writing, so 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade and 9th grade, because they were piloting new writing prompts, which had to happen in March, they are not, those grade levels for reading are not getting their scores right away. We have to wait till mid-June to get those. So there's some disappointment and frustration on those teachers and the rest of us too, that we don't get to see those exactly. And this will just happen this year just because they're piloting and coming up with new rubrics and to validate those. Next year, they can test later and the scores will be immediate. It won't be till October when we get all these scores back that they're open to the public. WDE and the State Board of Education have really are gathering input about graduation standards, because I think that's kind of the final phase. And the directive for the state board is to finalize and come up with, formalize, I should say, what graduation standards are and what that means. There's been a lot of discussion about flexibility. So I feel like it's a potential that there's a lot of district choice, and I don't know how much work that puts on districts and teams of teachers. So more meetings will be coming about that. The contract for the current company that does YTOP is going to be up pretty soon. So they are the WDE once again is gathering input about what works well, what doesn't work well, what's federally mandated, what is not, and how can they add flexibility and potential changes for the better. So that will go out in an RFP pretty soon, I believe. I think they're going to come out with a plan. I don't know. They said kind of May, beginning of May is what they would like to do. I will be gone for next meeting, so I will miss your festivities on May 6th. There's a curriculum directors conference. So I will be there doing that. The Joint Education Interim Committee does have topics that are out. I don't know if you noticed that. Brad sent that out to the group. There are 5 different topics. They're meeting in, I think June is the first one. So if there's any topics of interest, you can always listen in or provide public comment. They're early childhood education, K-12 mental health, CTE, school choice, and K-12 education. So pretty big, broad topics. So for what that means, but that's really the only updates I have for you, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions for Sonia? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bryce? You're hiding in the second row. I didn't know if you wanted to be called on or not. You didn't duck, so. All right, board reports? Do you have a meeting? No? Well, I spent part of last Thursday, WDE posted an AI Zoom meeting. Is specifically, we were told they wanted input from board members. They basically presented their digital plan, digital education plan. So the fact is that, I mean, we're using AI in a lot of things already. It's something that there are going to have to be some really well thought out policies for use in the classroom. of AI. It could be a great tool. I've also, a college professor of mine shared a paper that was written by AI, and it was very obvious if you knew a tiny bit about the subject in the title that it was not written by a human being. I would say in 2 years, you won't be able to tell that. It's just growing by leaps and bounds, and photos already are hard to distinguish. So it's going to be a heavy lift to come up with really meaningful policies and figuring out how to have digital literacy as well as digital citizenship. I think is going to be something we have a lot of work ahead of us for. So that was my, they did ask for some comments on the plan by the 24th. So I did send in a few comments, and that's what I did last Thursday. Does anyone else have? Oh, does anyone have a future agenda item? I think those will come up. And so our last item is the WDE visit. The superintendent of public instruction has confirmed that she will be here at 6 o'clock on Monday, May the 6th, to visit with us. I did invite her via email and over the phone to, she had expressed interest in our literacy program at the elementary school when she was on the campaign trail. So I invited her to come see that. She said she would really like to. So we're supposed to hear from them if we'll need to have an hour or so in the afternoon when we can show off our program at the elementary school. Does anyone have anything else to add to that? We probably should figure out to have dinner with them. Do you think? Yes or no? Okay, so we'll just meet her here at 6. Yeah, okay. Yeah, kind of. If you. Oh, that's right. That's right. So those will be okay. So as soon as we hear, then we'll be in touch with Brandy about getting them to see that. So, all right. That's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. This palindrome meeting is adjourned. Here you go, Joe. You still have over $100,000 in rec board. You lucky dog.
Yeah, one little,
Did we ever get that competition lighting thing?
So the overhead lights are fixed, competition lights there's like 7 of them. And I had to work with them.
But I thought Rick had to replace all of them. No,
I don't know.
Okay.
What the operate, I think they.
But they haven't been fixed.
No.
Okay. No, I will check on that.
The overhead.
No, you're good.
That was truly.
All right, I'll call the rec board meeting to order. You have an agenda in front of you. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Second. Moved and second. Is there any discussion for the agenda? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. It is approved. C, recognitions. There are recognitions. Seeing none, we'll move on to visitors' comments and special programs. See none, we'll move on to action items. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Old business. No old business. New business. We have the weight room proposal from WHCC and the Weston County Detention Center. Did we email that, the new proposal out to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so everybody get a chance to see that. Well, I guess, is there a motion to approve the new weight room proposal?
Move to approve. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the new weight room?
Go ahead.
So, we talked about, oh, sorry.
So for background checks, we discussed possibly just having their HR department give us their background checks, but I didn't know time frame. Like, if they're 5 years old, do we want to do that?
So I was told that of course, it's up to two things. I believe they have to go I think it is every year, if I heard them correctly. And then it would be up to those individuals that have to go to HR and ask for those results to be released to the district. And then in that case, then there would be absolutely no coverage or no cost to anybody involved. And where it's that consistent, I guess then the onus is on them, is how I would say it. Up to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Are they allowed to do that? I mean, are they allowed to share? Because I have to get my fingerprints and all that stuff done all the time too, but I can't, like, I have to get it done for my license and I have to get it done for where I work, and apparently the two cannot share that information.
That's why I wanted clarification before I even emailed them, because I have no idea.
I can tell you that I
just keep going to get it done.
So you do it twice?
Yeah, because they're saying, and then like I have to do my whatever that is, I have to sign and say they can do my other background check. I don't know.
I think your high school background's catching up with you.
Well,
clearly they've got look at. And so
well,
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You have?
Okay. Yeah.
Get in touch with whoever that is.
I know, because like when I had to coach, the one I had here, I had to go to PTSB and do a different one. They wouldn't take this one.
Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same sign. Motion approved. I have nothing for your information. I don't have any discussion items unless anybody else has discussion items.
I just was gonna really quick, because I found out today. So I had put on an agenda a while back. I've been working with Gilbert Nelson to try to get a grant to work on getting dummies, the big life-saving dummies for training. And so the grant just came open, and so he's working. And then the other thing I asked him to maybe help me with was life jackets for kids, because they're super expensive. And also maybe trying to get a grant for swim lessons, because I think, kids in this community, it's for me, I'm a swim person, so I want them, and teaching elementary school lessons, to be able to continue that forward for families that can't afford it.
Not an infomercial for Bass Pro, but I do believe if you write to Bass Pro for children life jackets for X, Y, or Z. I do believe they are one of the groups that do donate safety devices. That was an infomercial in a roundabout way, though. Don't take it that way. It was just, but I do believe it.
So those are just two little things I wanted to let you know that I'm working on.
How much is a
life checking? Oh, one to do CPR. They're like $1,500 a piece. Yeah.
No, all our CPR stuff was done by the local. We haven't done CPR. Oh, that's all the
yeah, and so Gilbert, the reason I got Gilbert involved is because of search and rescue, because they did bring a dummy one time and it was really nasty and I didn't really want it in our pool. So so it's kind of a dual training, but it would stay on site for us. Hey, everybody, no, go ahead and adjourn. Okay, meeting adjourned. Yeah, we have plenty of people. It's the one that can be submerged. Dana needs to tell you about your little cabin. You guys. Sorry, I'm really slow.
Just there's a list there that you guys can do the thank yous on it and maybe have them back up as well.